Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be looking at VECHAIN. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Primarily, I'm still looking for that possibility of this bullish scenario where we're looking for this as either an A, B, C to the upside, looking for this 1-to-1, which is sitting here at this 3901. Or alternatively, if we did get a bigger move to the upside, potentially we could look at this as a wave 3 to the upside. Now, we have to be aware there are other ways that we have been talking about counting this, so I'm just going to go over that quickly. We need to be aware that within this count, we would have to be arguing that we've completed this Y wave to the downside in this case, and that this move here was actually, this B wave was actually further back here. Now, we've been discussing a couple of things within here, saying that this could potentially even be a triangle, so we need to be aware of that. And if that's the case, that could actually still mean that we have a leg to the downside, which could look to push us back into the bottom of this channel and actually taking this low. So we need to just monitor this move. If it holds that support zone, potentially we can look to actually move back to the upside, but we need to be cautious about the fact of a bigger breakdown here. Now, the alternative way that we were also discussing this was looking for that possibility that within this structure we have this move as a fourth wave, and now once again that triangle idea would fit into here, in which case we could be looking to start to break down in a bigger way here, looking for this lower region here of this 00928 to this 00598 area. As long as we hold above this 01533, we can potentially look for continuation to the upside. But even if we do move to the upside, I would still be cautious towards the top end here of this 03592, as this would be a 0.382 retracement of this move. So going to have to be careful within this zone. Now, the way that I'm looking at this currently is that if we are looking at this as potentially an A, B, and looking for that C wave to the upside, what we would be looking for is the potential that we're actually coming down in a corrective way, where this would be W, this would be X, and then we'd be looking at this as A, B, and then looking for that possibility of the C wave. Now, the C wave could technically be completed if we count this slightly different, but we'd be counting it as a diagonal where we'd count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this low. So I'm looking out for the possibility of a break to the upside here where we start to form a 5-wave move and get back above this high, but there's nothing really indicating that at the moment. We're going to go over that in a second, but I am still anticipating, another break to the downside here, looking for this 5th wave. Now, this 5th wave target would actually be here towards the zone of this 01822 to this 01775. Now, if I throw this other count back on you, we can see that would be right in that zone of that 0.786. That would also bring us down into this little box area, which I have marked out. And within this area, we have this weekly and daily naked point of control. So, this could actually give us a bit of confidence within this zone. As well as that, we have this potential channel move into here. We could potentially look to retest this channel and then look to move away from that point. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Really, for as long as we remain within the top channel, this declining channel that we're in here, I would still be looking for that potential. Now, there is the possibility we could actually push up a little bit higher here, because there's two ways that we can look at this channel. So, we could take it off this high here as I have it, or alternatively what we could do is we could pull it down into this zone here like this, in which case we've already come back up and had a touch point. So I'm going to have to see whether we respect this and we just have a sell-off to the downside here. Once again, moving down towards this fifth wave location would also have that confluence with the center channel line here. So I would be keeping an eye on that if we do actually look to break down one more time. Now, this 5-wave move to the downside, what we have to be cautious of is that if this move breaks down deep enough, what we could actually have is instead we could potentially look at this as a 1, 2, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I'd only really be looking at that if we start to break down towards this 1, 6, 5, 2. So this is why it's important to maintain that zone of that 0.786. Otherwise, we start to break down into the area where we could start to look for, that more bearish scenario, which we're going to go over in a second. So now, if we are looking at this as just a W and X, and then we're looking for this as a Y wave to the downside, that 1-to-1 is actually down here towards this 01592. The 786 is higher up here towards this 1777. So there is quite a lot of confluence within here that we could actually see, another drop here. As well as that, I have this white fib area here, which that 1.236, which would be of this A wave here as an ABC, would actually also be within this zone. So we do have quite a few levels that are, saying that we could actually see a move into this area. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that and look to see whether we just complete this with another move to the downside, and then we make a move to the upside and actually start to take out these X wave highs. Until we do, though, we need to be very careful here, because at the moment what we have is just a 3-wave move. But if we do get some additional structure here and we fail to take out these key highs, what we could do is this could end up being a 1-2, this could end up being another 1-2, and then we break down in a bigger way here where we actually look to push down even further. And then we'd have to start looking at the possibility that this could then actually be another 1 and a 2. So we need to be careful of that fact and, looking for that possibility that if we do start to break down much deeper here towards this zone of this 0.01159, what this could actually mean is that this move from further back here is actually in this way 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'd get a 5th wave to the downside. But we don't have that confirmation yet. Now, if we do look to reverse to the upside from where we currently are, what I would be looking at is basically, because we've come down so deep, I'm just looking for the possibility that, this structure could actually complete here, like I said, possibly as a diagonal pattern into this low, in which case we could be looking for a move back to the upside. What we would want to see for something like that, it's not very clean, but what I would be looking for is something along these lines. So I'm going to come down here into the 1 hourly, and we're going to discuss what we would need to see happen here for that potential of actually seeing a breakout. Now, the way that I'm currently looking at this is I would be looking at the possibility that we have a series of 1s and 2s. So there's some key levels here that we don't want to lose. This, if we're looking at it in this way, where this is a 1-2 and another 1-2, we wouldn't want to lose this 0.1925. If we lose that, potentially what we would be looking out for here then would be that this could be A, B, and C, and we could be getting some kind of a flat correction, in which case we would be looking for this zone of this 0.1917 to hold. So just by taking out this low doesn't necessarily mean we won't see some continuation to the upside. It could be that we are still in this blue wave too. If we, however, break down towards this zone of this 0.1899, I would be less inclined to think that this is going to continue as an impulse. It could always continue up as a B, and a C as a flat correction. Sorry, as a corrective move rather. But what I would be then looking for is that this would probably be a W wave. This would then be looking for an X, and then we'd be looking for a Y wave to the upside, something to that effect. In which case, that would still not really invalidate that idea of having a 4th wave correction. So we have to just be careful with this. But what we'd want to see, if this is the case and we do maintain this low here, and we are looking at this as a 5-wave move to the upside, and this is a wave 2, we'd need to see a push up towards this 20 cent 42, then have an additional 4th wave here and a 5th wave which breaks back to the upside, looking for this zone of this 2066 to this 2052. A push up into this zone here would then give us that potential that we would have traveled high enough here past this 1618 that we could develop an additional 4th and a 5th. And then if that is the case, we would have to allow for the fact that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'd have an additional 4th and a 5th still to to take part with this move. So that could actually potentially even look to push us as high as this 2141 to this 2105. So I'm looking out for this potential of a breakout here, but this is not my primary count. It can do this, but this is me just assuming that we have this count playing out here. It needs to prove itself if that's the case. We want to see the price action follow through here, because effectively this would be the third of a 3rd wave. So we'd want to see nice, strong, clean, impulsive movements coming to the upside with good volume, and then looking to see this progress to the upside. If we just stall here, it means that we're probably more likely to actually come back down and take these lows, and this is just a bigger 4th correction here that's still actually playing out, and then we're going to look to break down to some of those lower levels. Now, if we do push to the upside here, obviously we've got some interesting levels as well. We do have this swing high here, which would put us right in the zone of this fifth wave, as well as that within this box area that we've got here. What we could see is there are some levels within this which are particularly interesting as well. These yellow markers here are actually weekly naked points of control. And then if we did push up higher here, we also have the 0.382, which is sitting towards the top end of this box, as well as this possibility of having a swing failure on this high. So I would be keeping an eye on this if we do look to push up higher here and actually move away from this zone. And like I said, really until we start to take out this high here of this 2659, we need to be cautious of that potential for, some more continuation to the downside. So we need to see whether we get this impulsive structure to the upside or whether we actually start to break down in a bigger way. Now, if we do start to break down in a bigger way, what it could actually mean, and if I'm going to come out here onto the daily, we were talking about this for a while, looking at this possibility that from further back here, we could have this as A, B, C, looking for a D wave and then an E wave. So technically speaking, we could argue this is A, B, and C because we didn't develop an additional leg here for a fourth and a fifth. Or alternatively, what we could also argue is that within this, this is A, this is B, and then we're looking to form that C wave to the downside, and this D wave could actually be further along here. Now, if this is the case, what this could mean is that we actually have a triangle more like this shape, and we would have been still looking for this D wave move. Now, if this is the case, what we could see is something like this, where actually we still have an E wave to play out to the upside. Now, if we do get something to this effect, what I would be looking for actually would be the possibility of coming back into this higher box range, and I'm going to just turn off these levels now. And what we could then see is there are a few areas in this high end which are quite interesting. We do have this 0.618 to this golden pocket area here as well, which would line up quite nicely with coming into the swing high. So we could see something like a failure over here. Or alternatively, if we do push up a little bit higher here, we do also have this 786, which is sitting here towards this zone of this 2885. So need to just be aware of this fact. We could see something like this play out where we get a move up into these highs here in another three-wave structure and then look to break down from there. And that would still fit this idea of having a bigger triangle pattern here. Now, this would also be interesting because if this does play out, it would bring us back into the center channel line again. And that could actually possibly be a target area that we could look to, hit with this E-wave. Alternatively, if the E-wave is going to become a bigger move to the upside, and it can actually come and challenge this line that's drawn from A to C. So we need to be aware of that fact that we could even see a break of this before looking to break down. So we need to just keep an eye on this. If we do get this additional fourth and a fifth, then what I want to see is whether we maintain these highs or whether we actually get a bigger push to the upside here, either in a 5-wave move. If we get a 5-wave move, that would be indicating that this is a ABC completed and that this is not a triangle, because if we get a bigger 5-wave structure, particularly that takes this trend line area, the fact is that it's very unlikely it's going to become an ABC as a triangle. So if we do get a 5-wave reaction to the upside, I would rather be looking at this as A, this is B, and then looking for that C wave to the upside. If, however, we just get a 3-wave move up, then we need to start looking out for this higher box area that we have here and looking to see if we have any rejections off this zone. Failure to break back above this swing high here and this high here of the C wave towards this 0.3267 would, I would be looking for lower prices then if we fail to actually break up into those higher ranges. Now, if we have already completed this triangle, however, what we could see is that we could actually be starting to break down from this point here rather. So that would be looking at this as C, D, and E, because we did meet that zone that we were talking about as 0.618. So we need to just be aware of that fact, and we could see this move break down in a 5-wave sequence, which what we would be looking for is basically something like this. Now, the key level here that I want to talk about would be this 1618 lower down here towards this 01741. And this would be looking at this move as basically this whole entire move down here as a 1, 2, and then looking at this as additional 1, 2, 3, 4, and then actually looking for this fifth wave to the downside still. So much the same with the other count, really, until we actually break above this this zone of this 2060 area. What we need to be aware of is that we could actually see this move even form this as an A wave, we come back down for a B wave, and then we get a C wave, something like this, and actually still look to come back into this potential area and possibly challenge some of these previous highs here. Like I said, I wouldn't want to see it get much higher than this 2060, so we need to see this move basically remain within this zone and then actually still look to break down in that 5-wave move to confirm that we would see something like this. So the higher that we go here, the lower that this target comes for a fifth wave. So really, the higher we go here, the more likely it is we're going to see this 5-wave sequence reach this 01741. So we need to just be aware that if we do look to push up, this could actually mean that we are going to see a deeper fifth wave here, in which case we'd have to be on the lookout for that potential again then of an additional fourth and a fifth. So really, until we break back above this previous fourth wave high, wherever that ends, whether it's up here or where it is here, we need to just be careful of that possibility of having further extension here, where we actually could be looking to break down. Now, if we do form something like this and we have this as a 5-wave sequence, I wouldn't say that this would be completed, so we would have to be on the lookout that this could then become an A, we'd get a 3-wave move up for a B, and then we could actually look to continue to the downside. So this is why this area is going to be very key here. You know, if we did have to complete into the area that I'm talking about there, what we would need to see is we need to be careful below this 2412. Anything really below this 2412 could just indicate that we see further continuation to the downside here, and we could actually see this progress down and take these lows. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.